All right, what's going on? I'm your host, Industrial Dave. Welcome to 6 to 6. Again, you see the title, union or non-union? Why are we even having this conversation? This shouldn't even be a debate, but you know what? Whatever. Union or non-union, let's go. Right here, you're at an at-will contract, okay? On the non-union side, whatever job that you do, you are at will. So pretty much you're at the mercy of the company. They can pretty much walk right up to you, tap you on the shoulder, say, you know what, we don't like you, we don't like the color of your shoes, you out. Which is a big deal when you're traveling, because when they fire you, they make it hard for you to get the unemployment, right? So when you're union, yes, they can essentially do the same thing, but they will lay you off, right? So let's say on the union job, if you got on red shoes and they don't like red shoes, they will cut you a check and say, hey, we don't like your shoes, you're laid off. They can pretty much essentially say a reduction in workforce. That's all they have to say. Reduction in workforce, and they can lay you off. Trust me, you'd rather have a layoff than be fired on a non-union job, right? If you're on a non-union job, they can fire you, no unemployment. Boom. Okay, the medical. When you are working non-union, the only way that this kind of benefits you is if you only work for one company, right? So if you're gonna work for one company, and this goes for the retirement too, kind of, you're working for one company, you can, kind of essentially pick your healthcare and all that stuff, but you have to stay with them. Versus the union side, it doesn't matter what company you work for, all your medical goes to the union hall, right? So it doesn't matter if you bounce around from company to company, you're all getting the same medical treatment. Now, vice versa, what I will say about the non-union side is you might be able to get better medical. You know what I'm saying? So you can sometimes pick what type of medical you want. Now, for construction, okay, for the oil and gas industry, you're gonna be traveling around. So it's gonna be kind of difficult to find that one company to stick with who might have the good medical. So again, you're gonna have to weigh your options. So for the long game, I'm gonna say the union for sure on that one. Next, your breaks, man. Come on. Oh, dude, this is crazy, right? So look, when you are on a non-union job, they can come in at any time and say, you know what, we're not breaking at 9 today, we're gonna break at 10. Or hey, we're not doing lunch at 12 today, we're gonna do lunch at 1. That's just the way that it is. They can literally at any time change the contract. Psych, there is no contract. They can just come in and make up anything they want to as they go. Do you want to work like that? You know what I'm saying? On the union side, A, B, C, that's it. That's the way it is. They say, hey, we're not taking lunch today at 12. The union guy's gonna say, okay, that's cool. That means you're gonna pay me through lunch, right? And there's nothing they can do about it. They're gonna have to pay you through lunch. So me personally, I don't know about y'all, but I like my stuff organized, okay? If you're on the union side, it's A, B, and C. Everything is organized, man. It just makes the environment a lot better, more comfortable. Everybody knows what's going on. You're not having to second guess anything, okay? It's getting hot. It's getting hot. Let's talk about some pay. Your time and a half and your double time. Now, on the non-union side, you will get time and a half, which, people call it overtime or whatever. And that doesn't even necessarily mean overtime, right? But on the non-union side, they don't really necessarily pay double time a lot. All right, let me rephrase it. It's supposed to be a punishment, right? Overtime and double time and all this stuff is supposed to be a punishment to the company to say, hey, we want to have a life too, right? But on the non-union side, most non-union companies do not pay double time. They just got the upper hand on that one, right? So on the union side, you have a lot of places like especially in the upper Midwest and the Northeast on the West Coast, where anything after 10 hours is double time. So let's just say if it's a Monday, right, you'll work 8 hours straight time. Your next 2 hours would be 10 hours. Those would be 2 hours, a time and a half. And then anything after 10 will be double time. That's a union contract. So you don't have to argue with the boss. You don't have to argue with the foreman. You don't have to worry about it. It doesn't matter if you're scratching your tail or if you're working your tail off or whatever. You're gonna get whatever's in that contract. Everything is on pen and paper. There's no arguing with it. That's the way that it should be. I'm just telling y'all, man. There's no way I'd want to work on the other side with that. Weigh those options. Now, here's another one. Your per diem, all right? One thing that I have heard a lot about the non-union side is that a lot of these jobs pay per diem, right? It's weird. It's kind of a give and a take. Not saying that union jobs don't pay per diem. A lot of union jobs do pay per diem, right? I'll give you an example. Let's say $40 an hour, right? On the non-union side, you'll get $40 an hour, and they'll say, hey, we're paying $150 a day per diem. All right, cool. But in that same area, the union side might only be, $35 an hour with no per diem. But you're getting all your benefits. But that's not every job, okay? And not every side of the country. I've worked plenty of union jobs that pay per diem, still pay my pension, annuity, and medical and all that stuff. You have to remember, on the non-union side, you're not really concerned about the medical because you're only going to be working for this place for 8 months or 2 months or a week, right? So it's not even enough to be worried about. So with the per diem, again, it's a little tricky. I'm going with the union on that side. It's getting hotter. Paychecks. All right. Now hear me out on the paychecks. When you get laid off, nothing's going your way, and you say, you know what? I've had enough. You're ready to go. You grab your tools and you walk off the site, right? You done cussed everybody out and all this stuff. Nothing's working your way. Hopefully you guys don't have that bad day, but it happens. You walk off the job and everything, but you still got a week worth of pay that's supposed to come your way. You are at the mercy of the company. They can hold your check however long they want. It might not even be right when you get it. You done cussed everybody out and flipped over chairs and stuff like that. You're at the mercy of them. They can do whatever they want. Now, hold up. On the union side, let's say you have a bad day. Same scenario, right? You done flip stuff over. Wouldn't advise you do that. Your money is going to be right. Okay. Granted, if you do that, I'm not saying do it, right? But if you cuss these people out and all that stuff on the union side, your check is going to be right. Okay. It might take a while to get it depending on the contracts or whatever, but your money is going to be right. All right. They have stipulations in their contract where if you don't get paid, if you don't get your money in a certain amount of days, you're paid sometimes 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day, depending on what part of the country you're in. And the company has to pay a fine for them not giving you your paycheck. That's just in the contract. I've been on jobs like that where I've been laid off. Stuff happened where I just didn't get my check on time and I had to call the union hall, and they ended up putting an extra like 16 hours on my check because I didn't get it in time. So that stuff is really out there. But again, when you're on a non-union site, you can't call the job steward. Again, you are at the mercy of HR, right? That's all you can call and say, hey, where's my check? Where's my check? Where's my check? And again, you're traveling. You can't just walk in the office. You might be 800 miles away, 1,200 miles away. You can't just roll up on them like that, right? That's just part of it. Now, here we go. This is the last one, y'all. You might have heard this word, and you'll hear it a lot with people that work non-union. Prevailing wage. What is a prevailing wage? It's just a fancy way of saying a union job. Now, on the non-union side, you'll hear guys saying, hey, they're building a hospital over there. It's a prevailing wage. So, for instance, in an area where your typical wage might be $35 an hour, you might see something that says prevailing wage $62 an hour. That's just the union scale, but it's a non-union job. The rate for the union is $65 an hour, but they're paying your hourly rate, your pension, your medical, and your annuity. So it's a total package, right? So you might be making $40 an hour on the check, and then another $4 an hour in a pension, and a $3 an hour in your annuity, and then $7 in your medical or something like that. And then that adds up to the $65 as per working on the non-union side on a prevailing wage job. You literally just get all the cash on your check, which would be $65 an hour. Like, that's it. You're not getting any 401k, pension, annuity, medical, like nothing. They're just paying that. And you know, guys would be horny to just hop on that $65 an hour. But when you're in the union, you're playing the long game, right? Even for me, I've done I have about like 16,000 hours with the union that I was in, and I have a pension built up, right? So I have pension that when I turn whatever it is, 62 years old or something like that. I think it's 62 or 64. They keep changing the rules, but I'm eligible for that money, as opposed to, you know, working a non-union. You can only stay with one company and just hope that, you know, it's there, right? Again, there's no paperwork or anything saying that they absolutely have to do this stuff. We have stipulations with the union. So this is something that you got to talk about. And then number one, the non-unions, you don't have an annuity. You don't have a pension. Like, these are big deals, man. This is what you want to look forward to when you retire. On the non-union side, at the most, all you have is a 401k. Like that's it. You know what I'm saying? Or again, if you're working for one company, which is extremely hard to do, profit sharing, and you know, you can put your check in that. You know, but what's to say that company's going to be around? Or the fact that you even stay with one company. It's extremely hard to do. I don't even think this should even be worth discussion. You know what I'm saying? The union has excellent benefits depending on what part of the country you're working in. So, hey, leave a comment if you're on the union side or the non-union side. I'd really like to hear more about the non-union side and why people like it or enjoy it. For me, that just boggles my mind. I really want to know. If you are non-union, leave a comment. You know, I'm not making fun of anybody here. I'm sorry, guys. Listen, I'm not making fun of anybody here, but seriously, if you're non-union and you work in the trades, I really want to know some things that you like about working non-union, you know. And if you want to diss the union, hey, diss it in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about us, you know. So hey, hopefully you guys learned something from this video. Welcome to 6 to 6, and you guys have an industrious day.